Hey, good morning, guys. It's Micah from Sapulpa Times, and thanks for tuning in to an episode of Timeloop Live on Friday. It is Free Coffee Friday. Hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas, and we did. And in fact, we are actually still celebrating for a little bit. We've got another Christmas event to go to later this evening, and I think that will wrap it up as far as the Christmas holiday for my family. But I tell you what, it was really, really awesome to still be able to come down on a Friday morning, the day after Christmas, and get coffee from CTX, especially because today is Free Coffee Friday, and it's sponsored by Best Option Restoration. And Jeff and Stacy are down there right now, and it is still going on until 9:30. So if you can get down there before 9:30, just go ahead and pause the show and head down to CTS Coffee at 114 East Dewey. Get yourself a free drip coffee or discounted specialty coffee, and had some pretty cool stuff come out over the last few days here that I wanted to kind of touch on. So it won't be a terribly long show, but it's going to be pretty neat. So if you watched the countdown, you saw all of the cartoon reindeer that were on the screen there. We're going to talk just a little bit about that. I'm going to tell you about what the story is there. But first, not breaking news, but still big news out of the Sapulpa historic, not historic, but the heart of Route 66 Auto Museum. So I'm going to switch this over here. Now, this is pretty great. So the Auto Museum has been given a $1 million grant that they had been seeking for expansion. So for one thing, I'm surprised at how many people still have not been to the Route 66 Auto Museum. So guys, if you haven't been to this thing, this is the coolest collection of classic cars and even some foreign cars and European and even like I would say like modern day cars, but not really. Like they had they may still have the EV, which was like the first commercially successful electric vehicle that Chevrolet produced back in I think it was the mid 90s. I think that's right. But anyway, guys, if you haven't been to this museum, it is absolutely cool. Even if you're not a car guy, but you have just an appreciation for for cool things, definitely worth checking out. But most people know about them because they got the world's tallest freestanding gas pump right outside. If you've driven by that part of Sapulpa, I'm sure that you've driven right by it. But if you haven't had the chance to visit that museum, be sure to go and check it out. But the reason why we're talking about them today, and the reason they're making the news today, is they've got $1 million grant that they are going to put towards expanding, and it looks like they're going to be adding another 5,000 square feet and to the actual museum, and then a 2,000 square foot plaza, which I think will be like in the front of the building. And so they say it'll allow the museum to showcase even more of the historic legacy of Route 66, featuring vintage vehicles, Mother Road artifacts, and provide a new venue for hosting events. So it's going to be really neat that you can actually use this for hosting your own events. And I've been out there for several times for different events. It's very cool. It's always neat to get new people out there, especially. But museum, so it opened up in 2016, if you're not familiar with how long it's been going on. And of course, they got the gas pump out there. And the next year is especially special because it's the centennial for the Route 66. And in honor of that, the museum says they're going to be open every day of the week from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., Monday through Saturday, and then noon to 4 on Sunday. And so, again, excellent place. If you guys have never been out there, we're super excited to see what this expansion is going to look like. This is a rendering that they gave us a few years ago when they first announced that they were going to start pursuing grants and funding and stuff to get this expansion. So I'm not quite sure that this is what it's going to look like when it's completed, but it kind of gives you an idea. The other thing I wanted to be sure to mention, I think, let's see here. They said every day of the week. I thought they were going to do, maybe not. Okay. I know at one time they were doing something for veterans, but I think that was just for Veterans Day. So anyway, again, they're going to be open every day of the week, starting in 2026. So be sure to go check them out. 10 to 4, Monday through Saturday, and then noon to 4 on Sunday. If you haven't been there, absolutely worth checking out. Very cool place to go. Really happy to see that expansion. So, I mean, it's just another thing. Like Sapulpa is just It seems like every day or week we are talking about construction, a groundbreaking, another new thing coming to Sapulpa. So, man, 2026 is going to be a great year for Sapulpa. So, pretty excited about that. You guys be sure to go and check that out if you haven't already. Okay, so the other one, this is so neat. So, you guys saw the lawn ornaments and stuff. Now, this is not in Sapulpa, okay? This is in a town in Texas. I think it is a neighborhood called New Boston, Texas. And so these decorations here were custom made by a man named Dick Rule, who was from Sapulpa originally and then left town. This is the one of the coolest stories in Sapulpa, I think. It's one of my favorite stories that we've gotten to cover and report on. So Dick Roll, way back in the early 1900s, early part of the 1900s, was born on a farm that is now, I think, right about where the Sapulpa Middle School stands. And he turned out to be a very good animator from a very young age, and decided that that's what he wanted to do with his life. So he actually left home from the age of 16 and went to Burbank, California, to go pursue a career in being a Disney animator. And so he actually got that. And the story that we've put on Sepulpa Times is amazing. Be sure to go check it out, the story of Dick Rule. But it's really neat. He became an animator for Disney during what they call the golden years. So most of us are too young to really remember this now. But like back in the day when theaters were the thing, I mean, Sepulpa had 4 or 5 theaters at the time. Televisions were not really in every home. The theaters would have a bunch of stuff. They'd have your feature movie that you want to see, but they would also have like a newsreel, and then they would have cartoons and things that played before the movie usually. And so these are like the 7-minute cartoons. Walt Disney would produce them. These are the classic Disney cartoons that you know and love from way back in the golden age of Disney animation. And so they would produce these and they would play at the theater. The theater would buy them. And that's how Disney really kind of got started, with Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck and Goofy and all the gang, though. So Dick Rule actually became famous for his creations of Donald Duck. And he became like the fastest guy on the Disney lot to be able to draw Donald Duck. And so we did a story on him. I wish I had remembered to put one on here so you guys could see it. But anyway, just such a neat story that he even did that. But then, after that happened, he actually left there in, I think, the 1940s. Maybe a little later than that, came back to Sapulpa and became a milkman, and like the old timey type milkman that would deliver milk to your door. And then he went to go work for Meadow Gold, which is, you guys know the famous Meadow Gold sign that's over in 11th Street in Tulsa. It was that Meadow Gold. And so he was working for them, became an animator for them, came up with like characters and stuff for them. Then he got hired by General Mills. And at that point, he moved to Texas. And that's where he lived the rest of his life until he died in 1991. So, while he was in Texas, and this was kind of after he was retired, there was a lady there that owned a store in Dallas, and she wanted to have some custom displays made for her yard. And so the art store down the street from her business gave her the name of Dick Rule from Sapulpa, who now lived at this time in like Richardson, Texas, I think. And he created all of these ornaments here, these lawn ornaments. And so this is amazing. This is back in the 80s, I think, when this actually happened for the first time. And so he created all of these, drew up like 14 of these reindeer to put in the lawn. And you guys can go and see the story on Sapulpa Times, where we've got the story about the Disney animator that became that moved to Texas, and now his work is being displayed on a lawn in Texas. So he came up with like 14 of these reindeer. You can see a couple of them here. We've got Santa trying to get a boost to the top of the house because the sleigh is actually down in the yard. And we've got a deer with a bow and arrow and another one with a trumpet. There's some on a pogo stick. And all of these were hand drawn by him back then. And then she had them professionally cut out and painted and then displayed in her lawn. and then they deteriorated over time because they were not really meant to handle the weather, and so eventually they went away, and nobody saw these for a long time. Well, it turned out this woman, her name's Sherry Fraser, I think I'm pronouncing that right. She is 70 years old now, and she wanted to remake these and have them displayed out in her yard again. And so she went and had them. She had the original sketches, and she had them remade. And her and her fiance, she said, spent like 3 months getting them cut out, repainted, and now they're out in her lawn. And so, if you live out in the area, or if you're going to be out in that area for the holidays, you would have had the chance to drive by and see them. But for me, she saw the story about Dick Rule in the Sapulpa Times, and she wanted to send this to us. So for me, it's just really cool that we have something from Sapulpa that is in somebody's lawn, more or less. I mean, they were made and manufactured in Dallas or in Texas, but the idea that we have somebody from Sapulpa that has their work in somebody's lawn in a neighborhood in Texas is just crazy to me. I mean, we've gotten so many stories over the last 10 years that we've been doing the Sapulpa Times of the impact that people from Sapulpa made all over the world. And I just love sharing those stories with you guys. So I wanted to make sure we had the chance to share it here. And so if you guys haven't read the story yet, it's out on sapulpatimes.com right now. Be sure to go and read it. Great story about Dick Rule. There's a link to the original story about Dick Rule there. Go read that story about how he went from Sapulpa and how he made his way over to being a Disney animator. That is a really cool story too. We published that about 5 years ago. So super, super cool story. Wanted to share this. I got to tell you, this is like my favorite kind of stuff to share with you guys because, I believe in my heart that we live in a special place in America. And just the ability, the privilege that I have to be able to share these stories with you guys and share with you guys what a special place this is. It's something that I could not imagine that I would be doing today. And I'm so glad I get to have this job. So, anyway, guys, that's going to do it for the show today. It's a really short one. It's mostly just making sure that you're going out and reading our other content. These stories that I just mentioned are all completely free, available on sapulpatimes.com. Be sure to go and read them. Sign up for the email newsletter so you get those from us as well. And then we're going to be out the rest of the weekend, and then we'll be hitting the ground running again on Monday. We're hitting that point of time where we're doing a lot of reflection and a lot of thinking about how we're going to change things for 2026. It's going to be a big, big year for Sapulpa next year. We're really excited about it. So I hope that you guys had a great Christmas, and hope you're continuing to spend that time with your family and everything. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys in the new year. So I'll see you guys again on Monday, where we talk about all things happening in the town that we love. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. We'll see you again on Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.